people on the boat. Of those people, that involves passengers and crew members. This ship is docked in the middle of nowhere with 3 dead bodies and other people infected with the hantavirus. Now, this cruise ship is not just sailing around in the ocean, they're actually anchored. And they're anchored off the coast of Praia, Cape Verde. Another thing to keep in mind is that this cruise ship made voyage April 1st, 2026, and it sailed off from Argentina. And yes, it has made a few stops right before the outbreak was even recognized. They made a stop in Antarctica, St. Helena, and also know that they made a stop in Shenton Island to evacuate a very sick British passenger that was flown to South Africa.
So this cruise ship just going to all these places. So any place that they went to, if the news would say somebody from that place contracted this virus, we gonna believe it. And when I say we, I mean the mass majority. They just went on a whole tour, and now all of a sudden, anybody who came from them places gotta go back to those places. Anybody from those places, whatever. So this is just insane, man. Let's go.
For intensive care, but it hasn't been confirmed whether or not this passenger was infected with the hantavirus. And as of right now, health officials are trying to figure out where these passengers could have got infected. And quite frankly, it could have been off one of these stops. And they may or may not have infected people they came around in these stops. Sound familiar? About 6 years ago, along the lines of COVID? And the hantavirus comes from rats. Rodents, like a bat, but without wings. The hantavirus causes severe respiratory problems. And
same thing, COVID came with bats. This come with rats.
Sometimes kidney diseases. And check this out. The hantavirus is really rare for humans to get. It's also not contagious within people. However, if it has a strain of the Andres virus, it's spelled similar to Andres, okay? If it has a strain of that, then it becomes contagious within human to human. And the Andres virus has been found in South America. Just a reminder, this cruise left Argentina, which is the tip of South America.
That's interesting. Somebody put haunt a virus, because that's what it is. They're haunting us with the old virus that hit us. This is the damn ghost of COVID's past. That's what we looking at, the damn ghost of COVID's past. And they know that memory of COVID, that trauma everybody had to experience, 6 feet apart. They were shutting down outdoor basketball courts. They were shutting down beaches in the middle of the damn summertime. It was insane. Families wasn't coming together. Concerts went virtual. Everything went virtual. And meanwhile, all this is happening while so much is going on in the world right now. And that's why, it seems like I used to be able to do these streams and just talk about one thing, but it'd be so much happening every single day. I'd be having 3 and 4 topics in one stream. But we gonna get there. We gotta cook, but we're gonna be thorough with everything we discuss over here. Let's continue.
The last update that we have got about this cruise ship as of May 5th, 2026 is that the WHO announced that Spain will be welcoming this cruise ship in the Canary Islands. So when more information is to come, I will keep you posted. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There's currently a hantavirus outbreak happening right now.
Yep, we done seen this movie before, y'all. We just seen it before.
And away we go. So you got,
and away we go.
As this Dutch cruise ship has a virus outbreak, a virus called hantavirus. And as always, I have questions because I think I've seen this movie before. Here's a rundown. A few people have died from the hantavirus on this cruise ship, including a 70-year-old Dutch man who died on April 11th. Then his wife dies just a few days later in a South African airport when she collapsed, which even now they sent in a hazmat team to evacuate the ship. But I want everybody to be very aware of what's happening because there's some very eerie parallels. Now, what is the hantavirus, you ask? It is a collection of viruses carried by rodents through their feces that is deadly to humans. Now listen up, this part is important. They also state that it causes a severe respiratory illness that has a fatality rate up to 50%. Respiratory illness, huh? You guys remember that one time where that respiratory illness was running rampant in 2020 and a very famous wife and husband caught it to kick everything off? It's just coincidence, right? You mean to tell me another famous couple just last year was involved with the same virus, hantavirus, where Gene Hackman's wife died of the same virus?
Come on now. We watching a real live screenplay, man. Like Shakespeare said, the world is but a stage. It is no such thing as a coincidence. There's no such thing.
So the first guy who died on the ship with the hantavirus died on April 11th. That's the same date the Titanic set sail at the point of no return. Now, the World Health Organization is stepping up to respond to the hantavirus because the wife of the guy who died, she dies in a South African airport, but before she took a flight to Johannesburg with 82 other people. Wait, hold up. You mean the same World Health Organization that's mentioned in the Epstein files for preparing for a pandemic states here to an email to Epstein saying, please find a draft agenda for the meeting on preparing for a pandemic as requested. Let's discuss next steps. For example, how to officially involve the WHO and the International Committee of the Red Cross.
Now you already know when the World Health Organization they get involved. Oh man, they're basically there to substantiate this thing being real. Therefore, anybody who speaks contrary to it being fake or trying to give any medical advice with how to treat respiratory illnesses, you automatically gonna get pretty much buked off of social media. So when you see WHO get involved, when you see the World Health Organization get involved, just know that this is not just something that's just gonna disappear. It's not gonna disappear because they already done put their parameters in place. They already put the structure in place to make sure nobody really boots up against it, right? Just something that we gotta note.
Best regards, I hope we can pull this off. What? Now, yes, they could be on one hand talking about COVID, but I always say COVID was a precursor to something bigger. Now the WHO urges all those passengers on that flight with the wife who died in South Africa on April 25th to contact them immediately concerning the hantavirus. And if that's not weird enough, back in 2024, Moderna and a Korean university co-developed a hantavirus vaccine. How convenient. States here that
they already done co-developed the damn vaccine, y'all. They already. Now, how the hell could you develop a vaccine for something that people are only getting from rats? Now, let me remind you, people wasn't contracting this virus from person to person. It was coming from rats. So how the hell, who would make a vaccine for that? Who would sit up there and say, this is for people who like eating rat turds? You know what I mean? Like, this is for people who just be sitting there playing with rats. Let's create a vaccine for people who likes to sleep with rats and lay around in their feces and urine. That's not how this works. This is not how this works. Here we go again.
They had a full-scale collaboration with the Vaccine Center at the Korean University College of Medicine to develop an mRNA-based hantavirus vaccine. And it's all interesting timing for travel in general. Spirit Airlines went out of business. You have Delta canceling food and drink service, canceling thousands of flights. It's almost like they want us to just stay put.
Exactly. That's exactly what they do. And, I'm involved in the travel industry. I hear a lot of the talks that's going on right now. And one travel word I need everybody to remember is evacuate. Evacuate is the word of the day. Anyway, let's go.
I did a bigger breakdown on YouTube, so make sure you guys go check that out. And let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Yeah, they shut down Spirit Airlines because that was a subliminal message. Right now, they got to aim after the spirit of Americans. That's what's happening right now. And
So I just went to Kroger.
we gonna go there. We are going to go there.
If the current cruise ship stuck out at sea because of the hantavirus outbreak, if you have a cruise coming up, should you be concerned? Let's talk about it. The MV Hondius, a ship that's currently on the coast of Cape Verde, had an outbreak of the hantavirus. It's a virus that is rarely spread by humans. It is primarily seen in rodents such as rats or mice. Currently, 6 people have been infected, and sadly, 3 of those people have passed away. Right now, the ship is not being allowed to dock because they're trying to come up with a game plan of how to properly screen people so that this virus does not spread. And this is brought into question if this is something that you have to worry about if you have an upcoming cruise. The quick answer is not necessarily. According to my research, this virus is very rare. However, this is the perfect time to reiterate how important it is to wash your hands while you're cruising.
Now, why while you're cruising? Now, I want y'all to just imagine this. Now, all of a sudden, taking a cruise is synonymous with the hantavirus. Like, am I in an alternative universe? So while you on a cruise, you need to wash your hands. But when you at home, you know what I'm saying? Or you in a farm, or at a barnyard, or you at the zoo, you ain't gotta worry about it. Only when you at a cruise, you need to wash your hands because you can get the hantavirus. Ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy how the narrative really takes away deductive reasoning. Yeah, wash your hands anyway. How about that? But if you on a cruise or you on a plane, for some reason, you in way more danger of getting sick and dying. This is the message that they're trying to spread to us. I'm just saying, man.
Constantly wash your hands. Wash your hands when you're getting something to eat. Wash your hands if you're having a snack. Wash your hands, of course, if you're going in and out of the bathroom. If you're going through the buffet, you're going to be touching surfaces all throughout the ship that hundreds and hundreds of other people have touched. So make sure that you are washing your hands. When you have high traffic and tons of people coming in and out, touching the same surfaces every day, you're going to have the spread of germs, which is why it's important that you are washing your hands, that you are sanitizing your hands, and if you are feeling ill in any way, just stay home. My heart truly goes out to the passengers of that ship, as well as the people who unfortunately were infected. And I hope that there's a solution for this soon, so that the people can get home.
I like that, Tania. How about we wash our spirits? How about wash our brains? That's real brainwashing. Don't let the toxic media put us in fear. Don't let them stop us from living our lives and enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? Let's not let these damn warlocks that control the country let us fall for the nonsense that they put out. How about that?
Healthy and safely to their families. I hope this is helpful. As always, safe travels. And
I hear what she's saying. I'm not trying to disrespect the young lady, y'all. So people out there, I'm not really trying to disrespect her. I'm just pointing out the obvious, that a lot of this just doesn't seem right.
Our assumption is that has happened. I'm so sorry to make another video about this, but they are now, through some investigation, are theorizing that it has probably transferred human to human, which has never happened before. Before it was, you had to inhale the remnants of the droppings or the urine from the rodent, or had to live on fomites and then be transferred and then touch your face. Now they're theorizing that maybe the virus has evolved and now it can be transferred person to person. Droplet. Hey, remember, coughs and sneezes carry 14 feet. Remember the lady who was married to the Dutch guy who died on the cruise ship? She tried to...
So basically, somebody coughing rat pellets 14 feet. Them rat pellets hit you in your face. I don't know how they just got these mutated rat pellets. They cough 14 feet from here. You ain't got a big ass pamper on your face, then you can contract the virus and die in 48 hours, basically, is what they try to tell us.
Fly back, collapsed in Johannesburg, took a commercial flight, no medical escort, and collapsed in the airport and also sadly passed away. Bears to mention, Kansas is hosting Argentina, which is where the virus probably originated, where the cruise left from, is hosting
okay, so why not? Who the one kissed the rat's? Who the one kissed the rat's asshole to begin with? That's what I want to know. Who did it? And then decided to look, I'm not trying to make light out of the situation. I'm just saying, man, I just cannot believe the things that I be hearing from these people. You're sitting up here telling me that a virus that only came from rodents is now human to human all of a sudden in 2026, random, on a cruise ship. On a cruise ship, out of all places, a cruise ship that that was no rodents was found. Who was the John Doe that was out here being nasty with rats, bro? Like, what's going on here? Anyway, let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
Argentina for the World Cup in June.
Our assumption is that has happened.
I'm so sorry to make another video about this, but they are now through some...
That's how they tried to push the AIDS epidemic, talking about somebody was doing something strange with a monk. You know what I mean? When really, I ain't gonna get too far into this, but AIDS is really an autoimmune deficiency, meaning you got something wrong, you got some underlying health problem that is affecting your immune system. There's people who never had sex that's been diagnosed with AIDS. There's people who never had intercourse in foreign lands where they tried to push eugenics. Off in Africa, there's little kids that have been diagnosed with that because they had underlying health problems. This is just a fact. So it's like they be telling us stuff, but they're not. It's like they be telling us stuff that can really affect and kill people. Like they're making us aware of things, but they always have a cover story for what it is or where it came from. They always have a cover story for its origin. What if I told you the mind is powerful enough to make you sick? The mind is. I'm gonna tell y'all an interesting story. Sunshine, thank you for the support. She says C-19 was from a bat, now hantavirus from a rat. They're trying to lock us down again for another mass genocide. Stay woke and pray. Absolutely. 100. 100. Now, I want to tell you how powerful the human mind is. Do you know there was someone who was ready to end their life? They wanted to self-delete. So they overdosed on a certain mental health, on a certain psychotropic. They tried to overdose. Do y'all know that the person, they had all, after they took these pills, you know, their heart rate went up. They decided, look, I'm gonna call an ambulance. I no longer want to self-delete. And their body was going through it. You know, they had to resuscitate this person. The person was literally dying. All of their organs were beginning to shut down, right? Do you know when they got to the hospital to actually detox the person, they found out that the pills the person took was a placebo. A placebo. So the person was always a person who thought they had mental health issues, and they, so they were prescribed a placebo. They tried to overdose on the medicine. Had all of the effects of an overdose. Foaming of the mouth, everything. Organs shutting down, everything. And guess what did that? Their mind did it. Their mind did it. That's how powerful the human mind is. Now, I just want you to really contemplate on that. So when you see stuff going on in the news, really, really consider what they're trying to do. For real. And right now, they're doing all of this because of the simple fact that people, they want out of America. They want out of America. This is America right now.
This might be the saddest thing I've seen in a long time. I want you to listen to this.
Physically yesterday, I'm 65 years old. I'm legally blind. I'm on disability. I went to my doc and I lost 20.
Hey, brother Gustav, salute to you, bro. I appreciate the support, man. Salute to my brother Gustav there. Long time no see, man. I see you still supporting the work, man. I appreciate you, brother.
8 pounds in the last year. I did not need to lose 28 pounds. I did not try to lose 28 pounds. I lost the 28 pounds because I cannot afford to eat anymore. Under Biden, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Under Biden, I was able to put $100 a month away for food, along with my SNAP, and I did okay. I could get fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and meat. It is just me. But now, with grocery prices so high, propane, electricity out of this world, I now only allow myself $65 a month for food.
Sharon, are you on SNAP benefits?
Let me tell you, under Joe Biden, I received $80 a month for SNAP. That was taken away from me under Donald Trump. He took it away. He gave me $24 a month. I did receive that for a couple of months. Then he took it down to $12.50 a month. I said, screw you. So I'm not doing that no more. So now I get $65 a month, Mimi. And for them people out there, all these Republicans that are doing so flipping well right now, I have 3 potatoes. I have a half a tomato. I have 3 bananas, 1 apple, 1 can of soup, a half a loaf of bread, 1 egg, and 1 can of green beans. I do not get paid until the 3rd. I am disability blind. I cannot drive a car. I'm 15 miles out of town, so I have got to just trot my butt down to the food shelf. I used to volunteer at the food shelf. I can't even do that anymore. I don't understand it. Why somebody to explain to me, why is it always the poor people that are helping the poor people? I don't understand. But what I want to say, Mimi, is that it's really close. I mean, like that man said, the end is coming near, and it can't be any more true for me.
That is Trump's America. This might be the saddest thing I've seen in a long time.
Not only are the grocery prices right now in Los Angeles, gas prices, a gallon is higher than the federal minimum wage. Federal minimum wage is like $7, $7.25. Gas is $7.50. Now, mind you, gas is going up everywhere, but none of these jobs are giving anybody a raise. You got groceries going up. You got gas going up. So let me get this right. You gas your vehicle up to go to these jobs, work, for about 9 hours. Only have 4 or 5 hours to yourself because the rest of the time you gotta get some sleep. You work more than you have time for yourself. Then you gotta pay more gas just to go to these companies where they won't even offer you a dollar raise. They won't offer you 15-cent raise. They won't offer you a 50-cent raise, but you expected to use that gas to get there. America is squeezing the life out of its people. And it's a sad situation. And a lot of people have to endure.
They thought by 2026 we'd have flying cars, but
I can't play this one because he has a song on there that's copyrighted. But what I will do is I'm gonna mute this and I'm gonna explain what you're looking at. The future is here, a dystopian future. Now these are new carts right here. Now these new carts are in a lot of the Whole Foods. These carts already have a built-in camera. They already have they're pretty much completely autonomous. You can check out using these carts. They have connections to your Amazon accounts, everything. Where you can pay right there using your cart. And these are already spread out. And it's really just incentivizing customers to get the market of beef. It's really incentivizing customers to get the new technology, to have access to actual whole food. This is really going into some biblical times right now. They're making the food damn near unaffordable, and then at the same time, they're putting this stuff out there to try to incentivize you to get the market of beef. You know, it's basically spreading out in different locations already. And we know the people who own these Whole Foods are wicked, right? So y'all see what they own. Y'all see what they are on. Let's continue.
Again, we're not doing this. A man in Switzerland has been confirmed to have the hantavirus strain that's on that cruise ship. Now, he was on that cruise ship and somewhere along the line got off the ship and went back to Switzerland. He's in the hospital now. Yup. His wife is in quarantine, and the World Health Organization is doing contact tracing because this man likely got on an airplane, maybe a couple of them, to get from wherever he got off that ship to Switzerland. Now,
so contact tracing is already being used again, y'all, with this hantavirus. Already.
Now, the Swiss authorities are saying the risk of further spread within Switzerland is very low. They are doing contact tracing. And again, the World Health Organization is saying that this virus is very rare. And this particular strain, the Andean strain, is the only one that can transmit human to human. But the conditions do need to be right. And honestly, a cruise ship does kind of set the ideal conditions for something like this to spread quickly. But I do think we are going to continue to see more cases pop up. But I don't think it's going to be full on buy the toilet paper, stockpile everything. But just keep an eye on it, because I don't want to be pandemicing again. I'm not doing it. Nope.
Right, yeah, I'm keeping my eye on this. And hopefully it comes to naught. You know, I'm not sitting up here trying to say that it's definitely going to be COVID 2.0, but it looks like we're seeing a lot of similarities. Maybe they're just haunting the people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
High cost of living is causing Americans to throw into the towel and give up. This system isn't sustainable. It's literally meant to benefit the 1% and only the 1%. You can work hard all week and still not be provided with enough money to pay your rent, pay for groceries, pay for necessities, nothing. And then people still try to turn around and gaslight you into making it all out to be your fault. It's like, what's the deal here? We're all just expected to keep our mouth shut and just keep working and working and working until we develop health problems, until, you know, we have heart attacks, until we literally pass away. Because that's kind of how it's starting to feel here. And it realistically isn't really a life that's worth living, even in the slightest. People are literally fed up. People are at their wits' end with this shit. People are checking out at unprecedented rates. And instead of showing empathy, instead of showing compassion, instead of showing the slightest bit of humanity, all a lot of people really know how to do anymore is kick people while they're already down. I'm not really sure what's happened to America, but it's absolutely nothing to be proud of it.
I was thinking, it seemed like it wasn't meant for you to retire. They keep moving the goalposts. And right now they're trying to push it to 70. It's almost like you was never meant to get Social Security. You know what I mean? So I think people need to put their own retirement in their own hands going forward. I know people are like, okay, what about my 401k? What about, man, get with somebody and try to invest that thing yourself. Because I don't know, if you're going to be able to retire working for a corporation, you'll never have enough. Or by the time you retire, you're so sick from being on pharmaceuticals to the point where you ain't got a life truly worth living. If you retire,
the high cost of living is.
You know what the Bible tells us? In 2nd Esdras 16:40 it says, "O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth." So this Bible verse is telling you to stay spiritually grounded during these chaotic, uncertain times. But it's also telling us to be as pilgrims, meaning don't be consumed by fear. Be ready to move. It wants you to be spiritually grounded, but physically active. Spiritually grounded, physically active. That's what that scripture is telling you. A pilgrim does what? A pilgrim is going to make some moves. A pilgrim might have to take what they got on their back and go to a different situation and start all over. That means be quick to just start over. Be quick to start from scratch. Have a nomadic mentality when it comes to how you operate.
Say you want respect, but do you really want to walk it out?
So, you know, the Bible tells us ways to maneuver during this time.
Understand faith in this village.
For sure.
Game over breaking analog off of the controller and the controller.
You have 14 days, not a metaphor, not a dramatic opener to grab your attention. A literal, mathematical, unavoidable 14-day countdown. And when that clock hits 0, the price of everything you buy, everything you eat, and everything that runs on energy is going to explode in a way that will make the last 3 years of inflation feel like a minor inconvenience. Here's what just happened, and why those 14 days matter more than anything else happening on the planet right now. Iran just destroyed the American command center in Bahrain. Not damaged, not disrupted, destroyed. The nerve center coordinating U.S. military operations across the entire Gulf region, gone. And in the same strike package, Iran hit Bahrain's oil facilities, fuel storage, processing infrastructure, the physical machinery that moves Gulf oil from the ground to the tankers to the global market. But that's just the opening act. In the last 48 hours, Iran has also struck Abu Dhabi's airport, hit the Fujairah oil depot, one of the most strategically critical fuel storage facilities in the world, attacked Qatar's LNG infrastructure, hit Kuwait, struck UAE positions, and continued pounding every American military installation it can reach across the Gulf. This isn't a military campaign anymore. This is a surgical economic demolition. Iran isn't trying to win a battle. Iran is trying to strangle the global economy until the world forces America to leave. And they have found the exact pressure point that makes every country on Earth, not just the ones being bombed, feel the pain within weeks. Here's the mechanism, and pay close attention because this is the most important thing you'll hear today. Right now, the Strait of Hormuz is effectively closed to oil traffic. Ships aren't moving, tankers are anchored. The oil that Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, and the UAE pump out of the ground every single day has nowhere to go, so it gets stored, pumped into massive holding tanks on land while the world waits for the strait to reopen. The storage tanks are almost full, maximum capacity, 10 to 14 days away. The moment those tanks hit capacity, the Gulf states have only one option: stop pumping. You cannot produce oil you have nowhere to put. Production shuts down. When the second Gulf production shuts down, the global oil supply doesn't tighten, it collapses. Demand stays exactly where it is. 7 billion people still need fuel, heat, food transportation, manufacturing. But the supply side just fell off a cliff. Oil analysts are currently modeling price scenarios of $50 to $80 per barrel above current levels in a matter of days after production stops. Not weeks, days. Because markets don't wait for the physical shortage to arrive. They price it in the moment the shutdown becomes inevitable. And here's how that hits you personally right now, wherever you are in the world. Every $10 increase in oil prices adds roughly $400 to $500 per year to the average household's cost of living. Not just at the pump, that's the visible part. The invisible part is that oil is embedded in literally everything. The plastic in your phone, the fertilizer that grew your food, the truck that delivered it, the electricity that powered the store, the packaging it came in. You have 14 days. Not a metaphor.
And he's right. You know, at the end of the day, this is what's inevitable. In about 14 days, things are going to dry up. In America, prices are going to skyrocket because of the so-called energy crisis and the fuel crisis. Now, this is not something that the man is just saying to be sensational. No, you have a system. There's a deadline of how things operate and how things work, and this is where we're at with it right now. Now, the scriptures tell us in Isaiah 26:3, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee." See, even during instability, the fear cycles they push, the uncertainty they push, the scriptures always emphasize that you gotta have inner stability and discernment. You gotta have it, no matter what. And that's something that you gain internally, knowing why things are going the way they're going, understanding why this thing has to end the way it is.
The old world is ending. A new earth is forming. People are starting to realize there's something incredibly wrong with our world right now. While some people keep saying, oh my gosh, the world is ending, the awakened ones are realizing that the world is not actually ending. A new world is emerging. If they keep you in fear, then yes, it feels like the world is ending. But if you're awakened and you're operating in love in your highest vibration, then you realize that we're just entering a new world where people realize that everything they've been taught that they know is all a lie. We need to work together in the community and stop entertaining that corruption up there. Up there, they want you to fight for money, kill each other, fight each other, be against each other. Whole time, the elites are literally sitting back watching it, laughing. Money is the end goal of everything. But down here, we could be in love and in harmony with the community and work together and love each other, which is totally possible. The old world is ending. A new earth is forming.
Right. And you know, for people who find it scary that the old world is ending, they would fight for the system. They would subconsciously fight to keep things the way it is. Then they'll start falling in love with how things are now because they have a fear for the unknown. You know, they have a fear for what's to come. When the Bible makes it clear what's to come, you know, like really in this world we're living in right now, we're shackled and chained, but the chains are invisible, you know, and when you can't see it, you'll fight for what you believe is a norm, and none of this is normal. You know, the end game of the global elite is control. You know, once you understand that the Most High is going to send his son to actually rectify the situation and do things over, renew everything, and that we're going to be ruling, then you're not really fearful of what's to come. Let me see. Somebody posted a scripture that says, your desire, but it says James 4:2. You desire but do not have, so you kill. You covet but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask the Most High. See, that's another thing. And then the Bible also tells us when we keep our eyes on things of the Spirit, all other things will be added unto us. All other things will be added unto it. There's no need to live in fear. You have to have perfect peace and harmony, no matter what comes against you. You have to have that peace, because the Most High, He examines our hearts. He knows our weaknesses. He knows our shortcomings. He knows what we battle with, what we struggle with, and He knows that, He knows our hearts. He knows what our intentions are. He knows what we are here for. And what does the Bible say? Christ says that you may live and live abundantly. That's His vision that He has for us. The vision He has for us is perfect harmony, not fear. A life where we would live and enjoy life. I'm finding myself just blocking people for saying random things in the chat. Somebody's talking about a greasy T-bone. I'm just seeing random comments. So when I'm seeing this random comments while we really having these deep discussions, I'm either timing y'all out or blocking y'all. You have to make sense of what you're talking about. I don't know if you're watching an old part of the stream, but when you're watching a live stream, it's a little bit distracting because I'm seeing these random things. I read the chat the whole time I'm streaming, almost. And when I see random stuff, it's probably because you were further back in the stream. But when you're watching, make sure you're viewing up to date, up to the right timestamp. But this stuff is what's going on in the world right now, y'all. This is what's going on in America. Hold on, let me see.
There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids, not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you get sick. Okay? And I still got a job at home because I'm a mother. But let's not forget, I don't get a day off. And I got to figure all that out. How are we going to eat? How are we going to pay rent? How are we going to pay utility bills? That every single thing went up after COVID. Not one thing stayed the same except salaries. The only thing that stayed the same in this country is the minimum wage. Even though everything else went up. There is no scarcity. It is how do we pit people against each other so they're too distracted to see everything that I'm too addicted to consuming and how much profit I'm making, and more profit, how many more houses one individual can have, how many yachts can one individual have, regardless of whether I am a female, male, whatever. I'm a human being first. With what conscience are you criminalizing poverty? And it's not going to stop just in the United States. The poor of the world, not just this country, are fed up. And let's not leave out rural communities. I live in Haines City, Polk County, Florida, okay? But do you think that the poor and rural communities have transportation? They don't. There is absolutely not even a sidewalk to walk on, because I am giving the message of stay poor, stay hidden, and die silently, okay? If I get a job, how do I get to that job? If I even get it when I'm in a rural community. There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that. We're spending more time working for a system that's falling and actually living life. That's not what life is supposed to be, man. That's not how life is supposed to be. You're supposed to spend your time living your life, not just working for something that's uncertain all the time. 2 Timothy 1:7, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Absolutely. Absolutely. Most High don't give us the spirit of fear. He give us the spirit of love, a sound mind. Regardless of what the adversary tries to plant into your minds. The Bible says cast down all imaginations of that. Straight up.
While you were distracted with everything happening in Dubai, do you even know that Cuba has fallen?
Or has that also been suppressed on your timeline as well? Cuba is at the brink of societal collapse, with many US politicians currently saying that it's likely to fully collapse in the next coming weeks or months if it even gets to that point. Cuba, the same country that was in the Bad Bunny song that you were also happy to sing a couple weeks ago, they really need our help. Because the US have had a trade embargo on Cuba for over 60 years. Decades of restricting trade, restricting financial investments, completely draining and suppressing the country. The United States have targeted oil shipments from Cuba, have discouraged other countries like Mexico and Venezuela, stopping them from giving Cuba any oil, which, by the way, is directly contributing to the mass fuel shortage happening right now in Cuba. Like, it's so peak. We are on the wrong side of history, guys, okay? Even the United Nations themselves have said that this embargo perpetrated by the United States worsens shortages of food, medicine, basic needs. But please, pray tell, did you even know any of this? Or is your timeline currently suppressing the fact that Cuba is falling? But while you were distracted with everything happening in Dubai, do you even know that Cuba...
Yeah, we got multiple countries that are involved. Philippines are in the state of emergency right now. When we talk about global conflict, we got to understand this battle, Strait of Hormuz, and pardon me, the battle regarding the Strait of Hormuz between Israel and Iran and America, it's stifling the whole entire world, y'all. It's putting a clamp on everything and everybody. And there's countries like smaller countries who are a little bit more weak, who rely on this oil more than others. Man, you're going to just start seeing countries just collapse. Imagine it being normal to just turn on your news and another country is in the dark. Another country doesn't have any energy. We're not just talking about power outages in communities. We're talking about entire countries with no power because of the energy crisis, because of the fuel crisis. And this is just the beginning of this. Imagine after a year of this, what type of mayhem is going to take place worldwide in the streets. Imagine how many robberies, murders, death. Imagine how many casualties it will be out there. People lighting fires, running around in the streets. How many pyromaniacs is going to pop out? How many kidnappers is going to pop out? Like, when you really look at what's happening in the world, you would see why Iran is evil as well as America. You'll see why they both evil. You would see, because, and you can see that it's clearly been orchestrated to be this way. Now I want y'all to consider something. Well, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna keep that one. Jet Set Radio. Now I'll save that for like Patreon or something like that, because there's certain things I could say, but you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove on this platform, but I'm gonna hold that. But anyway, let's continue here. Because right now they are ramping up their surveillance with ICE, and all the vehicles in 2027 moving forward are going to be watching everyone 24/7.
So Donald Trump is now doubling down on his idea to rename ICE to NICE. He's now posted a logo saying NICE, National Immigration and Customs Enforcement, instead of just ICE agents. Now, Donald Trump recently posted a tweet saying that he wants to do this to make the media say NICE agents every day to try to own them, which I think is pathetic. But this is also a perfect representation of the Trump regime. Their entire goal is to own the libs and own the media, make them say NICE agents instead of ICE agents. That'll show them, instead of, putting forward real reforms on issues facing Americans every single day. There's zero immigration reform. The only one he's proposing is this: changing the name. This is where we are as a country. So Donald Trump is now doubling down on his idea to rename ICE to NICE. He's now posted a logo saying NICE, National Immigration.
Yeah, they really trying it. Now, for those who don't know, ICE just got $55 billion, not million, $55 billion was given to ICE for all kind of advances. They have new detainment facilities. They got facial recognition technology. They got, you name it. They got different applications they're using. They have access to various databases. And it has gotten crazy because freedom is on the line here in America. And I want y'all to peep this because the surveillance is already crazy in America.
The fuck? Nigga, I'm in the middle of traffic, bro. Would you look at this shit, bro? Look, I can't, look, everything is locked. Cybertruck deactivated. Look at this shit, bro. Cars all on the side of me, bro. What the fuck? Bro, I gotta call a Tesla, bro. What the fuck? Bro, like, what the fuck? I can't move the car, bro. I'm stranded as fuck. The fuck? Nigga, I'm in the middle of...
Hey, leave the world behind. Leave the world behind. Told you, these Tesla vehicles gonna be stalled on the road. They're gonna shut down whenever they want. And it's getting real with this, man. Hold on, let me see something.
We can't do another plague right now.
That's not the one I was looking for. There's a video out here where these cameras in the vehicles are a lady tells her story. Yeah, peep this. Listen to this here.
Yeah, so you're gonna want to watch all of this one.
I've seen a few posts about this and I wanted to comment on it because I have a personal experience with it. It's not something that's happening in the future, it's something that's happening now. I rented a car in Europe, and as the woman handed me the car keys, she said, "This is a brand new car," and she was like super excited about it. She was like, "It's 2026," and I was like, "Awesome, no one's had a chance to like fart or smoke in it, this will be great." And I had driven it for a day or two, and I was getting on a highway, it was a 6-lane highway, and all of a sudden the gas stopped working, and I'm pressing on the gas. I can't get the car to go. So the car is dinging. It's making all this noise and I can't figure out what's going on. And I look at the dashboard and in English, it says, "Sit up straight. We can't find your eyes." Why do you need to see my eyes? That was my first thought. And I'm short, so I sit low in the seat. And I guess, I don't know, maybe I'd been driving a while and I'd kind of slouch down more instead of sitting upright. And when I sat upright, the gas would work once again. And so I pressed the gas, but I was slowing down enough that it was going to cause a traffic hazard. And the thing is, it knew I wasn't asleep because I was pressing on the gas. So it knew I was awake. It just wanted to see my eyes. So once I sat upright and leaned forward, I guess it did facial recognition. And then it says, "May I send you these results to a third party?" To which I said, "No, you may not." No. Who is the third party? Who, first of all, who's watching me drive the car to begin with? Secondly, who is the third party you're sending it to? And lastly, it is so dangerous. There are so many scenarios where losing control of the gas can put a car in a very dangerous situation. Like, what if I was pulling out in front of a semi-truck? What if I was going over a railroad track? And the absolute worst part is the argument for this is to combat sleepy drivers. And the truth is, if you fall asleep while you're driving, you're not going to be pushing down all the way on the gas. You're going to let up. You're going to relax. No one keeps their foot pointed while they're asleep.
Yeah.
And if they say, well, what about cruise control? Then just take off cruise control. Disable cruise control in cars. That's the solution. Not, I need to see your eyeballs for the car to work. There's so many dangerous implications for this. But even if you're using it just for the good implication, you know, sleepy drivers, we need to see eyeballs at all times, it's still wrong. It's still a stupid idea.
Yeah, so you're going to want to watch all of this stuff.
This is not just for Tesla. Somebody in the chat said, "Oh, don't buy no Tesla car." I feel you on that. Don't do that. However, for the record, man, this is for every new vehicle. And it's actually a law passed. Every 2027 vehicle, there will be cameras in the dash. and they will have a kill switch. The kill switch will shut down your vehicle if they don't believe you are set to drive. So they're going to be reading your eye scan, meaning they'll be doing retina detections. They're going to be scanning your eyes. It's going to be crazy work.